Quinnipiac has an interesting new poll that I want to share with you. This is a little gem that's hidden in there, but I think it's like, it might be low-key one of the most important factors in this election. This is Kevin Robillard tweeted this. This is from that poll. Sanders has a massive lead in voter enthusiasm. 52% of Sanders voters are extremely excited to vote for him. Extremely excited. Buttigieg is 31% are excited to vote for him. Warren, only 23% are excited to vote for him. Biden, only 19% are excited to vote for him. By the way, that proves my case on Biden, that Biden has default support. And then he says 61% of Sanders voters say they're definitely voting for him. 61%. For Biden, it's only 48, Warren 44, Pete 40. Guys, this is huge. It's huge because that enthusiasm is what drives elections, what really wins elections. Politics 101 is you got to turn out your base. Bernie Sanders turns out his base way more than anybody else in this election. And you know who else turns out their base? Donald Trump. So think about that. You got this guy who has hardcore supporters, highest approval rating in his own party of any president. Trump has. You have to counter that with somebody who has massive enthusiasm behind him, and that's Bernie Sanders. And again, 61% also say they're definitely voting for Bernie. Closest one to him is Biden at 48%. So this is, when people like Bernie, they love Bernie. And Bernie, it depends on what poll you look at, but generally speaking, he's doing very well in the first three contests, in the polls that are coming out of the first three contests. And in the national polls, he's doing okay. He can be doing better, but he's within striking distance of the lead, and he has this gap, which is huge. Now, there's some other facts that came out of this poll that I want to share with you. The under 50 vote. Listen to this. Bernie Sanders with the under 50 vote leading. Under 50. So basically, middle-aged and younger. 28% Bernie has. Warren's in number 2 place with 24%. Pete 16%. And Biden is 6% with under 50. Guys, all of Biden's support is the older generation. All of Biden's support. Again, Bernie is leading 28%. That's 4 points above the number 2 position, which is Warren. White voters with no college degree. Bernie 23%, Biden 19%, Warren 19%, Pete 15%. And then here's one of my favorite facts. This I think is really, really interesting. Bernie leads Warren with very liberal as well as moderate and conservative voters. So that means the only group that Warren is leading in is the somewhat liberal category. So Bernie gets the left flank of the Democratic Party and even the self-described conservatives in the Democratic Party. That's fascinating. It shows he has cross-ideological appeal. And I think that's good evidence that more independents would come out for him and more new voters would come out for him as well. And then also, Bernie's leading with people that make under $50,000 a year. It's huge. All these demographics that I'm giving you are massively important. And then when asked who people think the most honest candidate is, would you like to take a guess who wins that? Bernie. Bernie 23, Pete 21, Warren 16, Biden 9. And who cares the most? Bernie 33, Warren 15, Pete 12, Biden 6. And even among voters who say this will be their first caucus, first-time voters, Bernie 30, Warren 24, Pete 10, Biden 9. So he's leading in all these really, really important metrics. I've kind of shied away more recently from talking too much about polls and overanalyzing and looking too much into it. I just kind of want to, because my answer is always going to be the same. Whether the Bernie polls are bad or the Bernie polls are good, we have to keep fighting. We have to keep campaigning and canvassing and calling people and getting involved. So the answer is always the same. So why stress too much on the polls? But the reason why I wanted to bring this up for you is these are indicators that I haven't seen any polls on yet at all. And all of these indicators are very heavily in the direction of Bernie Sanders, which means that a lot of that sentiment that you get online that's not BS sentiment. That's not fake. That's not like, oh, you could discount that. No, that's actually taking the temperature of a real situation around the country. And it's nice to see that he's leading in all these little subcategories that I think are extremely important when push comes to shove and it's time to actually vote. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but he's in a good place, man. He's in striking distance, and the front runner is, on baby deer legs at the moment. And really, ultimately, it should come down to a race between Bernie and Warren. It's just a matter of when that will materialize.